Hey everyone, it's Lynne and Joseph with Salt Marsh Properties, and we are excited to be bringing you another video about life and real estate here in Charleston. And today, we're going to talk about the fun topic of purchasing a home, specifically weighing out the difference between new construction and resale homes.
Yes, so all over Charleston, everyone's talking about it. We have a lot of new development that's happening everywhere. It's not in just one part of Charleston, it's everywhere, right? So let's talk a little bit about that. You can decide to have a resale and you can decide to go with the new construction. And also you can have new construction that's almost towards the finish line, right? So there are a couple different things that you want to look at in any home purchasing process, which is the upfront cost and the price stability. Obviously, you want to research your price per square foot. And the one thing that's kind of predictable about new construction is that you have predictability around the maintenance of the property, right? If it's brand new, you can hopefully expect there won't be a ton coming at you right there in the first couple of years of repair.
Yep. And price stability, what we talk about on that is how much time is left in the development, right? Because a lot of times, kind of a general rule of thumb is if you have a large development, the builders are going to kind of continue the trend or to drive the trend of what the prices are. So that's just something to take into consideration. Which brings in the timeline and move-in readiness. Like Lynn said, you can get a build in any stages from before the trees were torn down all the way up to basically being able to walk into the house within 30 days. So you just want to make sure what works for you on that. Resale obviously could be, or typically could be, a shorter period of time because you're not waiting for the build, but that's not always the case for new construction. You can find new construction homes that you can move into quickly.
Now, what's important, and I think this is crucial, is you have to know your personality. And we're going to touch on this a few times. If you are building a home or moving into an already built home in an older neighborhood, a more established neighborhood, if you want to know what the neighborhood's going to feel like and taste like and sound like, then resale may be your path. If you are in for the adventure of a community that's still developing and there will be changes that happen once you've closed, then new construction is something that you could probably go through okay and it won't stress you out too much.
Yeah. Customization and features. Tell us about that.
So the new builds can have very different and modern floor plans. And obviously Charleston is such a gorgeous old city. So obviously our architecture is going to reflect that. And a lot of people have come in and made some, let's say, modernizations to those older homes. But in new construction, you walk right in and you have that modern floor plan. And then you can also make some changes to it depending on the stage of where the house is.
Yeah. And lot size is typically one too. I mean, again, general rule of thumb, there are exceptions to all of these. A lot of times in your resale homes, your older neighborhoods, you could tend to get larger lots. A lot of the new development that's coming in, you just have smaller lots that you have in there. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just personal preference that you would have.
And keep in mind with that new construction, there's the future growth of new schools, shops, and parks. But then we're going to touch a little bit now on the maintenance, repairs, and warranties. So when you're going through resale, you can often have that through the contract. You can ask for the seller to hand off some warranties, some other things. With a new construction, that is typically built into it from the builder for a period of time. So you can have that little peace of mind for both. But you got to figure out the cost of that, how long they go, and what the seller is willing to offer if it is resale.
Yep, absolutely. The last thing too is, like Lynn said, the pro tip on this is know thyself, right? There are a lot of great things about a shiny new home, building a home, like customizing the home. We personally have not chosen to build a home yet. We bought the home that we live in now is newer. However, the build process for us, we've kind of maybe thought, may not be the greatest thing. However,
through experience and watching
right?
it.
Doesn't mean it's a bad thing though, right? There are some typical personality traits that you want to make sure you have to go through the new construction process, all things that we talk about in your buyer consultation.
Now, what's important about that, the last little bit, is the fact that knowing thyself is important, because here's the deal. We always recommend having a buyer's agent in new construction because even though you may be a savvy buyer and have lots of experience with buying homes, when you're building with the builder, understand that on-site agent represents the builder, and those are the interests that she or he are looking after, and that's fair, right? So when you're busy, you have life, things going on, and something snags on that build, I've had walls put in the wrong place sometimes for my clients, then your buyer's agent's job is, their time is to work out the problem. And it kind of takes that off of you. So there's so many positives to having a buyer's agent, and the builder pays the buyer's agent, right? So it's all going to be figured out financially, but that's part of our consultation. I think that's it for it, right?
Yep, absolutely. As always, if you have any questions, please let us know. We're big fans of Charleston and would love to help you buy or sell.